When tribe members were forcibly removed from their homelands, families were separated and the language began to go dormant as a result of assimilation tactics used by the United States, such as boarding schools and economic pressures, which led to families moving to follow work to support their families. These removals caused a fracturing of the Myaamia population. Today, there are over 6,700 tribal citizens living in 49 states across the U.S. Many Myaamia people now work at the Myaamia Center at Miami University. One of the things they are working very hard on is revitalizing Myaamia language and culture. As a part of the revitalization work, the Miami tribe hosts week-long language and cultural camps in Miami, Oklahoma, and Fort Wayne, Indiana, each summer for Myaamia children starting at 6 years old. The tribe also has a program for adults in the summer. As a part of the Myaamia Heritage Award Program at Miami University, Myaamia college students take classes about Myaamia culture, heritage, and language. In the fall of 2022, over 40 Myaamia students are enrolled at Miami University, and there have been over 100 graduates of the Myaamia Heritage Program as of spring 2022. The Miami tribe recently won the Honoring Nations Award in 2018. One of the reasons they were honored with this is because today the first generation in nearly 100 years of Myaamia people are learning the language. David Costa began working on the Myaamia language in the 1980s as a part of his doctoral work. The tribe began revitalization efforts in the early 1990s when tribal citizens Daryl Baldwin and David Costa were brought together by Julie Olds, who's a citizen and works for the tribe, and Karen Alexander, the librarian for the tribe at the time, as a part of an Administration for Native Americans grant. Daryl Baldwin began teaching the language to his children so they could incorporate it into daily life at home.
Aya, Akema, Ichipunga, Wayneswani, Nila, Myaamia. I'm Chief Doug Langford, and I'm very honored to speak to you today with the voices of our youth people singing, "We Are Myaamia." I extend the respect and gratitude to the sovereign Myaamia tribe of Oklahoma, to Harvard's Honoring Nations program, for this opportunity to speak of our important cultural revitalization effort known as Myaamiaki Amamwacheki, which means the Miamis, they awaken. Our cultural awakening began in early 1990, when the recognition that the loss of our language and culture had resulted in a significant disconnect from our cultural identity. In 1996, tribal leaders embraced an opportunity for change when they applied for and received an ANA grant to support language revitalization efforts. Now we see the result of 2 decades of community program development. Our efforts are succeeding in the return of Myaamia language and culture, and it is producing a new generation of engaged community members through the efforts of our Cultural Resources Office in partnership with our unique tribally directed research center, the Myaamia Center at Miami University. This program demonstrates our strong belief and commitment toward the building of a healthy community through language and cultural revitalization. Through a series of tribally designed courses at Miami University and a wide range of educational programs, the effect of our awakening can clearly be seen and heard in our daily lives. Myaamia citizens are now able to speak, sing, tell stories, play games, and for the first time in many decades are able to confidently say, Nila Myaamia.
E yakwamisiongwe, nehe, tupeliongwe.
This phrase speaks to our self-determination. It is an expression of our work to empower ourselves through knowledge and to express ourselves as Myaamia, the ultimate expression of sovereignty. Our commitment to this work has provided resources, infrastructure, and support to the Cultural Resources Office and the Myaamia Center. This empowers the restoration of all things Myaamia, which lies at the very heart of who we are as a people. We see that the return of our culture allows us to heal from the traumas of our recent past, and so we can move forward with strength and dignity.
Ki ke lindaminge, nehe, mikinge.
To us, knowledge is responsibility, not power. This thinking is embedded into our educational programs in order to help our youth prepare themselves as future leaders who will give back to their community. Reclaiming traditional knowledge, discovering new ways of understanding, and responding to challenges are important steps in our revitalization process. The Myaamia Center, the research and development arm of our Cultural Resources Office, provides program content based on the work of community researchers and educators. Currently, there are 30 tribe students who attend Miami University, and 76 have graduated since 1991. Some of these students have and will become future tribal scholars and contribute to this growing effort. From our youth programs to the classes at Miami University, these young scholars are known to us as Anjitaki Yaki, the change makers. They are precisely what our nation needs to shape our future.
Sunge lindaminge.
Contributions and connections happen both internally and externally. We share our efforts as an example for other tribal communities engaging in revitalization work. In a unique community building exercise called a SAPA, or the Web, participants are provided an opportunity to understand the many connections that bind and strengthen us as a community. Individuals stand in a circle, tossing a ball of twine back and forth to create a web, while naming cultural activities that are unique to being Myaamia. Then they are asked to drop their threads of culture, one at a time, as a symbol of loss. After the web is fully on the ground, they are asked, what will keep us together as a community if we don't carry forward our threads of culture? Participants are then asked to pick up the threads of culture they dropped as an act of revitalization. This web is not, when they pick it back up, is not the same. And that gives us an opportunity to discuss the changes inherent in revitalization work. ASAPA teaches individual community awareness, which in turn fosters a heart of collaboration, commitment, and responsibility. Our awakening is not a solitary event in time, but an ongoing responsibility of our nation and each citizen. I am proud to be a part of Myaamia Mamwacheki and to see this honor conferred to my people. Mishinewe.
By the middle of the 20th century, there were no fluent Myaamia language speakers. In 1996, the tribe received a grant to begin research to revitalize the language. This was the first generation to learn the language in 100 years. Language is very important to a society because it is a way of connecting with others in their community, and it helps to express their culture. By revitalizing their language, they were able to strengthen their cultural identity. The Myaamia tribe has their own dictionary where we found all of these words. There are a lot of things that you can find in the dictionary. In the previous video, we discussed what Aya means. Do you remember what Aya means? If not, go to the Myaamia tribe online dictionary to find out what this word means and more. What is ribbon work? The Myaamia tribe was forcibly removed from their homelands in the Midwest, first to what is now Kansas and again to what is today Oklahoma. During this time, Myaamia language and cultural knowledge was no longer passed down to younger generations. The Myaamia people have been working to revitalize this knowledge. Ribbon work is one of the cultural practices that have been revitalized. Today, you can find it on Myaamia regalia, such as the women's outfits and the men's shirts in the left image. The vertical panels on the women's skirts is the clearest example in the image. The people in the left image are Myaamia citizens who served as elected leaders for the Myaamia tribe in 2016. From left to right is Secretary-Treasurer Sarah Lawson, Second Chief Dustin Olds, Chief Doug Lankford, First Councilperson Danya Williams, and on the far right end is Second Councilperson Scott Willard. The image on the right is the most recent image of the business committee. This was taken by Karen Baldwin at the 2022 annual meeting in the Myaamia Tribe's Council House in Miami, Oklahoma. From left to right is Second Chief Dustin Olds, Secretary-Treasurer Danya Williams, Chief Doug Lankford, First Councilperson Tara Hatley, and Second Councilperson Scott Willard. Danya and Tara are wearing ribbon work created by Karen Baldwin specifically for times they are publicly representing the tribe. The image of the people on the far right includes clothing featuring ribbon work. Myaamia ribbon work is a Myaamia art form. Ribbon work is made by folding and layering fabric to create geometric patterns. Diamonds in red, white, and black are the most common in Myaamia ribbon work. Other tribes also create ribbon work, but their patterns and colors differ from Myaamia ribbon work. As seen here on the lower left image, sometimes ribbon work is attached to moccasins. The flaps are sewn on the leather, and the interior flaps are usually different from the exterior flaps. Geometric patterns are patterns created using shapes, usually repeated. With smaller patterns, the geometric design can sometimes look like it's moving or shimmering. This is called dancing ribbon work. Ribbon work is used on important garments that Myaamia people wear for special occasions, including important public political events such as treaty negotiations or tribal leadership elections, celebrations such as dances and graduation, and important cultural events such as storytelling. Here are some more examples of ribbon work. Part of the cultural revitalization has been a continued creation of these ribbon work designs. The hat and tote bag are examples of contemporary ribbon work, while the other two images show more historical examples. Historical pieces like these were looked at to revitalize the art form and inspire the design that are used today. Karen Baldwin is a Myaamia ribbon work artist who worked on the design of the band around the hat and on the bag. She has helped revitalize the process of creating ribbon work and taught others through workshops, an instructional book, and videos. Here are some pieces that are not ribbon work but were inspired by ribbon work. Ribbon work is made with textiles by citizens of the tribe. Without these two requirements, it becomes inspired by ribbon work. Designs inspired by ribbon work are found screen printed on t-shirts, phones, or other accessories, and decorating buildings. Myaamia people often wear and accessorize with ribbon work inspired designs to express their Myaamia identity. This animation shows the layering process for an example of a ribbon work project. Ribbon work is made by starting in the middle of a piece of fabric. The first ribbon is cut and folded before being placed and sewn onto the background. The next ribbon, in this instance a black ribbon, is cut and folded. Then the peaks, which are the higher points of the ribbon, are aligned with the valleys, which are the lower points of the white ribbon, and then the black ribbon is sewn. The process of cutting, folding, and sewing is repeated with a red and then a black ribbon in this example, before the piece is flipped to the opposite end, where you will start with the white ribbon and repeat the steps to mirror the other side. The overlapping material creates the shapes that look like diamonds. Myaamia people traditionally use geometric or elongated diamonds in their designs. Before they were exposed to silk ribbons, the geometric patterns were used in tattooing and other art forms in the tribe. We started with hello. Now we would like to thank you for participating today.
Newe.
Newe.